Welcome back to the channel, USD Coins, where rare coins, numismatic treasures, and the fascinating world of hidden wealth meet in surprising ways. Today, we're diving into a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters alike, the 1988 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a piece of seemingly ordinary pocket change that has stunned the coin-collecting world due to a combination of remarkable errors, rare mint characteristics, and unique anomalies. This little copper-plated zinc coin, which would normally be worth just a single cent, has skyrocketed in value under certain conditions, and in one documented case, its value reached an astonishing $6.2 million. So, how does a coin so common become worth more than a luxury mansion? Let's explore the mystery, the history, and the unique circumstances that elevate this humble cent to legendary status. The 1988 Lincoln cent is part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which began in 1959 and continued until 2008. These coins, featuring the bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, are among the most circulated coins in U.S. history. Tens of billions have been minted over the decades. In 1988 alone, the U.S. Mint struck more than 11 billion of these coins. That means they are, by all accounts, extremely common, which makes the idea of any single one being worth more than a few cents seem almost absurd. Yet that's precisely what makes the story so compelling. It's a needle-in-a-haystack tale, a modern-day treasure hunt, and one of the most remarkable examples of how mint errors and numismatic quirks can turn everyday items into fortune-carrying collectibles. What makes the 1988 penny potentially worth millions is not just one error, but a combination of factors: overlapping die varieties, transitional errors, doubling anomalies, and misplaced mint marks, that when present together in a single specimen, create a coin that is virtually one of a kind. The rarest and most valuable 1988 Lincoln cent ever discovered contains what collectors and experts refer to as a transitional reverse design from 1989. This means the coin was struck using a reverse die that wasn't supposed to be used until the following year. This type of mix-up is incredibly rare and usually only happens in the brief periods between production runs when old dies are replaced with new ones. The main identifying feature of this rare variety is found in the details of the letters G and in the word America on the reverse of the coin. In the standard 1988 reverse, these letters are slightly separated. However, in the rare variety known as the 1988 reverse of 1989, the letters are closer together, nearly touching. This was due to the introduction of a new reverse hub in 1989 with slightly altered lettering spacing and design. Somehow, a 1989 reverse die was mistakenly paired with a 1988 obverse die, creating a mismatched hybrid, and that's the crux of this coin's rarity. Even more remarkably, some of these error coins feature subtle doubling on certain letters, such as Liberty and In God We Trust, which could indicate a double die error, one of the most sought-after types of minting mistakes. A double die happens when the die used to strike the coin has a doubled image, which then transfers to the coin itself. The famous 1955 double die cent is one of the most well-known examples and has sold for tens of thousands of dollars. When that type of doubling appears on a 1988 cent, especially combined with a reverse of 1989 design, the value can go sky-high. Now, let's dig even deeper into the mint mark, a small detail that can make a huge difference in determining value. Most 1988 Lincoln cents were struck in either Philadelphia or Denver. Coins from Philadelphia in that year do not carry a mint mark, while coins from Denver carry a small D mint mark just below the date. But here's where it gets fascinating: the positioning, shape, and punch style of the mint mark can vary, especially in error coins. Some of the most valuable 1988 cents feature a misplaced or repunched mint mark, known in numismatics as RPM. This occurs when the mint mark is punched more than once in slightly different locations, often due to human error in the hand-punching process. This practice ended in the late 1980s, making these anomalies among the last of their kind. Even more intriguing is when you find a 1988 cent with a Denver mint mark combined with the reverse of 1989. This ultra-rare variety is often referred to as the 1988 DRDV 006, a specific designation used by collectors to track known varieties. This variety has gained near-mythic status among collectors, with only a handful of confirmed examples known to exist. One of those examples, preserved in near-perfect condition and displaying multiple overlapping errors, was reportedly sold in a private transaction for $6.2 million, a record-breaking price that reflects both the coin's rarity and its incredible combination of minting mistakes. Let's take a closer look at what that coin offered. First, it was struck using a 1988 D obverse die, meaning it bore the Denver Mint mark. Second, it featured the reverse die of 1989, an accidental usage of a new design before its official introduction. Third, the coin displayed minor yet visible doubling in certain inscriptions, such as E pluribus unum and the designer's initials, FG, near the base of the Lincoln Memorial. And finally, the coin was in almost pristine condition, graded by professional services as mint state 68 red, meaning it had full original color, no signs of circulation, and only microscopic imperfections under magnification. The rarity of such a coin cannot be overstated. Out of billions of 1988 cents minted, only a few have been confirmed with this specific combination of errors. And because the U.S. Mint does not officially track or record die varieties or transitional mistakes, many such coins are only discovered by dedicated collectors who examine every detail under magnification. These are coins that could very easily have slipped through the cracks and into the pockets of everyday Americans, ending up in jars, vending machines, or even discarded. The thrill of discovering one, then, lies not only in its rarity but in its accessibility. It could still be out there. It could be sitting in someone's drawer, or passed as change for a cup of coffee. Over the years, numismatists have catalogued other 1988 cents with notable errors, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and lamination errors. While these may not reach million-dollar levels, they can still be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on the severity and visibility of the error. A 1988 penny struck 15% off-center, for example, may fetch a few $100s in the right market. If that off-center strike happens to occur on a coin that also bears a transitional reverse, the value could increase dramatically. That's how layered the valuation of error coins can be. Each new factor compounds the overall rarity and appeal, and let's not forget about condition, often the silent multiplier in coin valuation. A rare coin with heavy wear may still fetch a decent price, but a rare coin in mint state, especially one with full red luster, can command exponentially more. The red color, caused by the copper coating being fully preserved, fades quickly in circulation. That's why red-designated coins are so prized, especially when combined with major errors. It's the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and historical oddity. Some collectors spend years hunting for these treasures, attending coin shows, browsing estate sales, combing through rolls of pennies from the bank. The thrill lies in the possibility that the next coin they flip over might be one of those fabled error varieties. And in the case of the 1988 cent, it's not just a fantasy. These coins do exist. They are verified. And their value is proven not just by speculation, but by auction records, expert certification, and real-world sales. What also makes the 1988 cent so legendary is its timing, minted right at the end of the era of hand-punched mint marks and on the verge of a major reverse design shift. It sits at a historical crossroads, where old practices met new technology, where human error was still possible before full automation took over. That brief window allowed for these unusual mistakes to happen, mistakes that might never occur again in the age of computerized precision. In conclusion, the 1988 Lincoln cent, particularly the variety with the 1989 reverse, double die features, and mint mark anomalies, is a numismatic marvel. Its value is not just in the copper or zinc it's made from, but in the incredibly rare circumstances that brought it into being. For those lucky enough to find one, the rewards can be life-changing. For collectors, it represents the pinnacle of the hunt, the moment when patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck come together to reveal something extraordinary. And for everyone else, it's a reminder that sometimes, even the most ordinary-looking things can hide remarkable secrets. Today's episode is one you won't want to miss, especially if you've ever held a penny in your hand and wondered if it might be worth a fortune. We're diving deep into the legend of the 2003 Liberty 1-cent USA coin, a seemingly ordinary coin at first glance, but one that has shocked collectors and numismatists alike due to its jaw-dropping face value in the collector's world, a staggering $2.2 million. That's right, a coin with a denomination of just 1 cent, minted in 2003, has gained infamy and fame because of a series of minting errors, anomalies, and incredibly rare features that have made it one of the most talked about modern coins in U.S. numismatic history. To fully appreciate why this particular coin has reached such astronomical value, we need to look at the history, the minting process, the known errors, and how one of the most common coins in the United States ended up being one of the rarest and most desired by collectors. Let's begin with the basics. The 2003 Liberty 1-cent coin, as many people call it, is essentially a Lincoln penny. Officially, it's part of the Lincoln cent series that's been in continuous production since 1909. The obverse, or front side, features the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln, a design created by Victor David Brenner. This design has remained largely unchanged for decades, making any significant variation a potential red flag for collectors, and also a green light for potential value. In 2003, the U.S. Mint produced pennies at several facilities, most notably in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each of these locations is designated by a small mint mark that appears under the year on the obverse of the coin. For example, coins minted in Denver carry a small d, those from San Francisco have an S, and coins from Philadelphia either have no mint mark or sometimes a faint P, depending on the year and the die used. Most coins from these mints are struck with incredible precision using high-pressure dies that punch the design into metal blanks. However, even with advanced technology, mistakes happen, and in some rare cases, those mistakes become worth their weight in gold, or far more. The 2003 Liberty 1-cent that's said to be worth $2.2 million didn't become valuable simply because it was old or shiny or particularly beautiful. No, what sets this coin apart are its errors, highly unusual mistakes that occurred during the minting process. Let's start with the mint mark. On this particular coin, there have been reports of a double mint mark, a misaligned mint mark, or even a mint mark from a completely different mint, something that shouldn't be physically possible unless there's been a dramatic mix-up at the mint. One theory is that a coin blank designated for the San Francisco Mint was mistakenly struck with dies meant for Denver or Philadelphia, resulting in a mint mark anomaly that shouldn't exist. Others report that the mint mark itself appears to be hand-punched, a practice that was phased out by the early 1990s, leading to speculation that a rogue mint employee or an extremely rare misapplication during maintenance could have caused the irregularity. While these are just theories, the known coin in question shows enough deviation from the norm to justify serious attention. Next up, we have doubling. Doubling is when the design on the coin appears to be stamped twice, slightly offset, creating a shadow or ghost image. This can happen on the date, the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," or "United States of America." In the case of the 2003 Liberty 1-cent error coin, multiple sources have cited severe doubling not just on the date but also across Lincoln's profile and even the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This kind of doubling, known as a double die error, is extremely rare and highly prized. What makes this coin even more intriguing is that the doubling isn't uniform, it varies in intensity and placement, suggesting that the die used to strike the coin was already compromised and perhaps used far beyond its intended capacity. Then there's the metal composition. Most pennies minted after 1982 are made of 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating. However, some examples of the 2003 Liberty 1-cent coin appear to be struck on a bronze planchet, the same alloy used for pennies prior to 1982. A coin with the wrong metal composition is already rare, but when combined with mint mark errors and doubling, it becomes astronomically valuable. These off-metal strikes might have occurred because old planchets were mistakenly left in the mint's hoppers, or perhaps a foreign blank was used unintentionally. Regardless, this kind of error is exceedingly difficult to fake and easy for trained experts to verify with specific tests and measurements. Another point of interest is the thickness and diameter of the coin. Some versions of the 2003 Liberty penny are slightly thicker or heavier than normal, suggesting either a different metal or an error during the blank cutting process. If the blank was thicker than standard but still accepted by the minting machinery, the resulting coin would be slightly out of specification, yet another anomaly that adds to its uniqueness. One of the most dramatic errors linked to this particular coin is what collectors call a die cap strike. In this situation, a coin becomes stuck to the die and is repeatedly stamped onto new blanks, resulting in a layered, distorted appearance. These coins are exceedingly rare, and while they usually look melted or abstract, they command incredible prices at auction. If a 2003 penny suffered this fate but retained enough identifiable features, such as Lincoln's face and the date, it would be an extreme rarity, and yet, the question remains, why $2.2 million? What makes this coin not just rare but almost mythical in its value? The answer lies in a combination of factors. First, it's about rarity. The coin is believed to be one of a kind, or perhaps one of only a handful. Second, it's about condition. The known example of this era coin is reported to be in pristine condition, mint state, uncirculated, possibly even graded MS-69 or higher by professional grading services. Third, and perhaps most important, is the story. The mystery behind how so many rare errors could converge on one coin makes it not just a piece of metal, but a historical artifact. Coin collectors are driven by more than just value, they're fascinated by the narrative a coin tells. A coin like this becomes a legend, a talking point at coin shows and among elite collectors. It becomes the centerpiece of a collection, the crown jewel. And in the world of high-stakes numismatics, a unique coin with an irresistible story can command prices that far exceed logical expectations. When bidders compete at auctions, it's not just about owning the coin, it's about owning a piece of history. Let's talk briefly about authentication. A coin this rare and this valuable must undergo rigorous analysis before being accepted as genuine. It would be weighed with a digital scale down to the hundredth of a gram. Its metal content would be analyzed using X-ray fluorescence spectrometry. The strike would be examined under microscopes to detect any evidence of tooling or tampering. Its provenance, that is, its chain of ownership, would be documented. In the case of the 2003 Liberty 1 cent, experts from leading institutions like PCGS and NGC have reportedly examined the coin and deemed it authentic, further fueling its mystique and market value. Now, what are the odds that another coin like this exists out there, hidden in circulation, sitting in a jar, or forgotten in a drawer? Statistically, very low. But not zero. The US Mint strikes billions of coins each year, and mistakes, even if extremely rare, do happen. It's not impossible that other era coins from 2003 are still out there, unnoticed. That's why so many collectors, even beginners, go through their pocket change with magnifying glasses and coin reference guides. The thrill of discovery is part of what keeps the hobby alive. The story of the 2003 Liberty 1 cent worth $2.2 million is more than just a tale of monetary value. It's a celebration of imperfection. It's a reminder that in a world of mass production, the rare, the unusual, and the flawed can become priceless. It's also a symbol of the dedication and passion of the numismatic community, people who spend years studying coins, attending auctions, and following leads about rare pieces. For those who are now eyeing their change jar with renewed interest, here are a few tips. Always check the date and mint mark. Look for doubling on the letters and numbers. Feel the coin. If it seems thicker or heavier than usual, it might be worth investigating. Use a jeweler's loupe to inspect fine details. And if you think you found something truly unusual, consult a professional grader or numismatist before trying to sell or clean the coin, which can drastically reduce its value. In summary, the 2003 Liberty 1 cent coin's incredible value comes from a perfect storm of minting errors, possible off-metal composition, multiple types of doubling, mint mark anomalies, and maybe even planchet thickness issues. Only one or two coins like it are known to exist. Because of this, it has become one of the most talked about coins in modern American history. With a confirmed sale or estimated market value of $2.2 million, it's more than just a penny, it's a legend, a mystery, and a dream come true for any collector lucky enough to stumble upon it.